What's up, everybody? Greg, the Running Drummer. I'm just going to really quick just show you how to tune a snare drum. I'm just changing out the snare drum head. I'm using a really cool snare drum head from Evans, reverse dot. I think this ran me about 25 bucks. Great head, same head that I had before. This head was pretty beat up. I've already removed it off the top. As you can see, this head's been on there for way too long. One of the things that you have to really be careful of is when you first take off the top, as you can see inside of here, there's a lot of dust and bits of stick that are in here. So you don't want to get any of that inside the snare drum itself. So when you remove the top, just be really careful to not get that in there. One of the things I like to do too is I like to line up the logo with the snare release, because that way when I'm playing, if I ever need to release the snare in the middle of a show or whatever the case might be, I can look down and know that that's where it is, right? So it's just a good visual tool. We put the top back on, line up the holes, and for time's sake, I will fast forward, but what we want to do is just get these in here and get each one of them hand tight. All right, so now once I've gotten those all the lug nuts all hand tight, then what I do is I take my drum key and I go around and I just tighten it to where when you get there and it's just a little bit too much, it's not easy to do anymore, that's where you want to be. Once you get there on each one, I just go around to each one, make sure that they're about the same. Okay, now once you've gotten all the lugs all around the drum hand tight with your own hands, that's perfect. Then the next thing you want to do is you actually just want to put your hand right in the middle of the head and just put as much pressure as you can right on the drum itself. I'm doing it right on the snare drum head. It's perfectly fine. You could probably stand on this thing and do a jig if you wanted to. It can take a lot, but you're just seating the head. And you can see it crinkles, and that's good. You're just loosening it up and getting ready to play. And then I feel like I'm ready to go. Now I can start to tune. So what you want to do when you tune a snare drum is you want to start on one side and get it pretty tight. Not crazy tight. Then you want to go to the opposite side and do the same thing. All right, I give it like maybe 4 or 5 turns. Every snare drum's a little different. Every lug is a little different, so it's all going to depend, and you're going to have to go through and tune as you go. But to start, this is what you want to do. Once you're done with 1, 2, you want to go to the next one, either side. It doesn't matter. You can go to this one, the left or the right. So I'm going to go to the right. All right, that's nice and tight, not super tight. I go across from that way. All right, we're good there. And then, I've already done this one, so obviously I'm going to go to this one. And you'll see all the crinkles come out of the head, right? From here, I'm going to go here. You can already hear it start to tighten, or tune up, rather. And now I'm going to go here, because I haven't been to this one yet. Let's go around, have the snare off, and I'm just going to go around the drum. Go from each opposite end. I'm going to try to match the tone. So once I've done that, then what I want to do is actually put the snare on. Now I've already tuned the bottom head, and that's for another episode, but let's just see how it sounds. Alright, so again, to recap, remove the old head. Make sure you don't get the dust from the drum inside of the drum itself that are on the edges. Reseat it, put it back on, hand tight with the lugs all the way around, hand tight. Done with hand tight, then you're going to push down on the head to seat the head. Once you've seated the head, then you're going to lightly tighten each lug. That's my personal preference. Lightly tighten it all the way around. and then you start the tuning process where you tune from one side here and you switch over to the next opposite side, and you just keep doing that, and that's basically it. Once you've done that, then it's up to you on how tight or loose you want your snare drum. It's totally up to you. I prefer a really tight, snappy snare drum, and that's what I like. And then, of course, you can use a moon gel, and if you don't have a moon gel, you can always use duct tape. It seems to work. Always have duct tape available, whether you're playing a gig or whatever. So anyway, but that's really it.